Ladies and gentlemen, this is 8-Star Anime. As you know, it will get awkward, knowing him.
Hi.
Anyways, I'm Chris. Dave's holding up what we just watched today, and Roger's behind the box somewhere. And
Hi.
we just got finished watching Wolf Children.
On 8-Star Anime!
Booyah!
Yes. And more, I guess I'm going to say more recent classic.
Yep.
And back in 2012, I believe, we got it here a little bit more closer to 2013. And it's won many awards within Japan, even here in the United States, for just an overall really good, sentimental. I think they consider it a children's film to a degree.
Got children in
And
it.
It's a
Well-
kind of a fairy tale.
Sort
it
of.
is. And so I'm going to let Dave real quick because he's the one that really wanted to get into this movie. So if you want to take a
Well,
synopsis.
I had first seen a little review about Wolf Children on Glass Reflection.
Yeah.
And ever since I saw Arcada do it, I really wanted to see it. And I'm glad we did. The story is about a young lady named Hana who meets a stranger at school, and then they have a family. A little boy and a little girl. There's a little twist to it, though. The stranger just happens to be a man and a wolf.
Both.
Yeah. Not at the same time, all the
No.
time.
Yeah.
Through a series of tragedies, Hana, is now a single mother and has to move up to the mountains to raise her children in some semblance of peace. Not normalcy, just peace. So we follow along kind of the first half her adventure, and then the second half her kids' adventures.
Yeah.
As they learn who they're going to be, and more importantly, what they're going to be.
Indeed.
It truly is one of those, these children are literally, I guess, I wouldn't say half breed, I'd say quarter breed. at this
Shape
point.
changers.
They're shape changers.
The shapeshifter.
And so the thing about it is,
And they just flow back and forth like pouring water out of one cup into another.
yeah, they just change back and forth
When they're
easily.
children, they change by
Well, the
emotion.
the real reason is you brought it up. I know, spoiler alert, just in case anything pops up. You brought up the fact that they have to move from city to to the
Rural.
boonies, rural area. Reason being, for the most part, is it's because they're wolf children. Instead of
Ears, tails, chewing on the furniture, banging
And-
at the moon.
exactly,
everything.
most people wouldn't necessarily get that, and so now instead of living in a society that chooses which way they have to go, she'd rather have them figure it out for themselves. And that's where really, in my opinion, the story really takes off.
Yeah, I mean, Hana really encourages the children to both sides of their life. She does, through the story we learn, kind of lean towards the human side.
Yeah.
It's hard for her to break out of the mold she was raised in as a person, which makes perfect sense.
Yeah. And
It's a bit of a learning curve trying to teach your wolf children how to, learn and teaching them what they need to know in life.
it can be. And so, with that being said, it's kind of like, it's just one of those where you just have to make life choice and what's best for you.
Yep.
So from the first half of this movie, it's the single mother Hana going, all right, what's best for the family as a whole? We'll start there, and then we get towards the end, about middle towards the end, then we get that split, where we finally see which way they really want to go.
She asked at
No.
one point in the movie, do you want to be, would you like to live as a child, or would you like to live as a wolf?
Yeah, but
That's
unfortunately,
kinda
when
something
she
to think
asks
about.
that, the kids are like 3 and 2, so they
So
can't
they have no real understanding.
Yeah.
Now the
become more rhetorical.
Yeah, the thing about it is like her two kids, Yuki and Ame. Yuki being the girl, Ame being the boy. Just in case y'all haven't actually seen the movie, and have no idea what I'm talking about. They are practically polar opposites of each other. Yuki being the more outgoing,
She's a firecracker.
yeah,
Yep.
she's just all over the place
Tomboy.
and whatnot. Ame growing up sickly,
Fragile,
fragile,
breakable.
And what?
I
They
don't
called him Mr. Glass.
Dear
true.
Lord. But with that kind of mentality, he
He was definitely beta to his sister.
yeah, easily. And so now you got two people trying to figure, but now you're trying to figure out their place because one wants to
Well, they start going to school.
and first she goes to school. She starts having a real rough time because she's trying to make sure she doesn't do anything that's out of place or weird. But unfortunately for her,
She's out of
Out of
place,
place
and
and
weird.
weird.
Oh yeah.
and with Ame finally going to school, he goes, but feels
That's
like
about second or third
Yeah,
grade.
he doesn't really seem
He-
to participate.
he doesn't
He's
participate.
Just there.
Yeah, and eventually he just goes, well,
Meh.
About,
I'm done.
about third grade, about 8 years old.
Yeah.
Mom has gotten a
I'm
part-time
done with
job
this.
at a nature conservative or conservationist.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he's going there, looking at the exhibits, talking to the animals because he is an animal. Just
Yep. And from there, he decides, well, heck, screw this. I'm actually gonna take the nature route and see how it goes.
Mhm.
So this is where the split comes. The older sister, who actually has adapted to being a human,
Mhm.
is doing so quite well. She's able to keep herself in line to the best of her abilities.
with a few hiccups here and
Here and
there.
there.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a minute. And where the brother's kind of like, I feel like
He's going back to nature.
going back to nature. I
Yeah.
feel like I'm a wolf. This is where I need to be.
I'd rather learn nature things.
And so
It only took a near-death experience.
I know, right?
This movie's really good for near-death experiences.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
a lot.
Has them in spades.
Now, granted, it.
Or
it's-
vegetable hose or other farming utensils.
Now, granted, by the time we get to the end of this film, we finally get to the point where the kids have finally, I wouldn't say outgrown the home per se. Well, I guess you could, and to a certain degree, and they've chosen their lives.
Yeah, I mean,
I-
around 11 and 12,
12.
they're starting to. I mean, how much do we want to give away?
Well, I'm just saying, like, by the time we get to the end of the film, they finally have chosen what they consider their paths, their way of life,
And they're doing it.
and they're doing it.
Like you're leveling up a character, which route they want to take.
And that's pretty much,
Hunting mice for my skill tree.
yeah, no, right?
Ah.
And I think the film just, had its ups and downs at the right moments. It just was something that everybody can enjoy.
I mean, it was like. I like to take the crack at it, but it's kind of like an animated Hallmark film with a good sense of humor and
Oh, yeah.
not a bad ending,
Yeah, actually, fairly good ending. I was actually impressed.
I was waiting for some of those horrible things to like pan out and be like just a horrible thing to happen. Like, this tragedy's bringing them
Well-
together.
Well,
But
no, to be fair, I mean, Japanese movies do love
They
a
love
kind of a dramatic.
horrible stuff.
Well, I wouldn't say horrible, but deep
They love bad stuff happening.
What the thing? Well,
prove-
tragedy.
to prove
They
tragedy.
do like tragedy.
Yeah,
Tragedy.
tragedy to prove a point.
but my thing is, tragedy struck pretty hard. in
Yeah,
this
right off the
film.
beginning.
Pretty
Right at
early,
the beginning, and it was huge.
Mhm.
And that's where a lot of the decisions started being made.
Oh yeah, that's where it
And-
got real.
Real.
It got real.
They're shape-changing cartoon people.
Yeah.
To me,
Well,
I
the
mean,
real world kind of knocked at the door, and
yeah. But I mean, a lot of different things happen in the film. But the next major bit that truly happens is, in my opinion, was I guess their fight.
yeah,
Yeah,
'Cause that was kind of a huge.
I was
pivot.
not expecting that.
yeah.
That was a huge pivot point watching the brother and sister actually fight, because it was different from when they first started,
Yeah.
where
She would have, the girl would have won hands down.
yeah, easily. But,
Plus, she was always looking out for him.
yeah. Then all of a sudden, here's the little brother going, "No, I got this. Nature's on my side. This is what
Yeah.
I've been training to do." And
And then, yeah, his natural instinct takes over, and he can take her and fight.
of course, the mom has no
kinda
idea.
even.
But that's the problem. The mom has
She
no
should have
idea.
turned a
what-
garden hose on him.
That's
but,
true,
yeah.
Dave.
But, ladies and gentlemen, without giving out too much more about this film, I
Except
think
for
we go to
all of
our
it.
rating system. So, what do we think about the visuals?
Well, I gave the visuals a 1.
Okay.
It's well done, but there's nothing that's spectacular. Every once in a while, you're going to find something where they're just like, okay, this is going to be art. Let's make this moment. A lot of the times, it was usually involving like a storm or something in the world that was important at that moment, it got a better treatment in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
I see what you're
that's
saying.
true.
Because I do have to agree. I do have to give it the old 1 star because it is true they picked out points that needed
Yeah.
that dramatic effect, that look, versus everything else where it's like, oh, okay, there's nature here, blah blah.
I didn't. You remember the bears showed up? They didn't even have faces.
Yeah,
Actually, a lot of the animals,
but they didn't need faces.
But
Well,
I mean,
no,
just
no.
saying, they didn't. You couldn't see eyes.
Well, but see, that's not
True.
true because when they first saw the animals, when she first went to the mountains, they did have some detail and whatnot, and they looked.
That could be showing how far removed she is from the nature path.
Well, sort of, but more towards the idea that this is the nature path. This
Yeah.
is
This is
the
not
wor-
your world.
This is
Yeah.
not the world that she knows, and
Bears
but
do
the,
not
but the
make
whole
good neighbors.
but the whole thing with the bear bit, I was actually surprised that we didn't get actual
Features.
features. We just saw more of a silhouette.
Silhouette, yeah.
And I thought that was kind of odd, but I think the effect was still there. It's that moment of, oh God, I probably shouldn't be here,
Yeah.
but then it's like it passes and it's like,
Yeah,
oh,
had them
okay.
baby bears been somewhere else in the set,
That might have been
Yeah.
a problem. Big problem.
Big issue.
what did you give it?
I totally disagree as usual, but I gave it 2 stars on the visuals because I like the photorealistic, waterfalls and the rain, stuff like that. Which means they took live action video and kind of put it into the anime, or just like pretty much copied it with a computer. Which I thought that was kind of neat. I've grown up on Studio Ghibli. This is not Studio Ghibli. This is like Studio Chizu or something.
Chizu,
like
I think, yeah.
Chizu. I like the way they did it. I'm usually not a fan of this
Well,
animation
it's
style, but I
this-
like the movie overall, the visual style.
Well, the visual style and the direction that this movie, the same people that did a bunch of other films like Summer Wars, if you've ever seen that.
No.
It's another film that was done by the same people who did this one, and the animation style is about the same.
Yeah.
And a little more action packed than that film, more than this one, in
Yeah.
a sense.
I liked how they pretty much decorated the city and everything like that. Everything neons, everything like Tokyo, everything like
Yeah, you definitely knew it was
Hyper-
Christmas when it was Christmas.
Oh yeah,
That's true.
hyper reactive, as some people call it. And then pretty much the rural area just kind of spread out, as in you were in the middle of nowhere, which
Yeah,
I
that's true.
enjoyed that. And then of course they hit it on little places and made it really pretty. So I gave the visuals 2 stars.
All right. So now we head up to audio. I personally myself will give it the old 2 stars. For the simple fact, I think the audio actually did its job. There were moments where I thought the audio was a little bit too loud for its setting, especially over the voice acting. But
That did get annoying.
Oh,
it
yeah.
did a lot.
I missed probably a
However,
lot of the lines.
but-
because of that.
Yeah, but think
that's-
about the moments where
But the
it happened.
moments.
Well, like they're almost like there was like a wolf howl at one point, and it was almost inaudible.
Well,
Well,
there
he was far off in the
Well,
distance.
distance that made more sense, and she's sitting there going like, "Oh, there's
Yeah.
the sun. All right, there we go." But no, my other thing is for the audio on this one, like the one moment is where the father, when
Yeah.
when she finally sees him where he's at.
Yeah, let's.
I'm not
Yeah,
spoiling.
yeah,
it.
I
I'm
get what
not-
you're saying. Dude,
And the sound literally just drops.
I was gonna say, there's a point where you're gonna know if you watch it what Chris is talking about, and they use the audio, but in this case, the absence of
Absence
the
of
audio,
audio.
Yeah.
to emphasize the
it's
story.
Because it was a huge shock. It was nothing. Nothing else mattered.
Yeah.
But what we were looking at. And it was like, oh.
It was unnerving.
It really was.
That's,
It was devastating, actually, because I was heartbroken. Because I was like, wow. To be
I was
honest.
gonna say, I knew he.
but we
I
all,
knew he passed from the review,
yeah, but see.
but not how,
How.
not where,
Where.
not when.
And it's, even knowing that he had passed, it's still one of those, like, oh, God.
Yep.
Bam. Okay.
Yeah, I kept waiting for like a car wreck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I did. But
Or a gunshot.
Yeah, but it was just that moment. But those moments are what got me.
Yeah.
The part where like
But when the storms were rolling through and
yeah
the
the
thunder,
yeah,
the thunder went off and it
The
really
rain.
sounded like thunder. I mean,
the rain, all this other stuff that was going on, and the moments where we're watching the sun go off into the sunset or the sunrise, whatever you want to call it, and the howl, that moment, and I was like, okay, that's why the music's so loud here at this point because it's emphasizing these fine moments that we're trying to get out of it.
I mean, I wasn't impressed at first either.
Mhm.
I was about to give it 1, but I chose to give it 2. And it was because of the special effects sounds.
Yeah.
The music's okay. The music does what it does. I think there's only like 1 or 2 times where the music shows up and it's loud enough that you go, I can hear the music and there's something going on because of it.
Yeah.
As opposed to, usually I don't ever hear the music.
Mhm.
It's just there. And then, of course, all these sound effects we're talking about.
Yeah. Well, you swayed me. I'll give it 2 stars. Also.
We win.
Because the audio was good, and I enjoyed the voice acting because I think the dad sounded like, to me, would sound like the voice actor that does Wolverine for X-Men Evolution, which I really enjoyed that show. So.
Well, I mean, yeah, the English,
The English
voice
voice
action.
actors were pretty good. We did
Oh,
watch
yeah.
this in English, by the by.
I was glad that they. At first, I wanted the animals to speak to the boy, but I'm glad they didn't.
I think it would have taken away from the moment.
Like, especially from that whole, this is another world.
Yeah, because these are the animals. The animals are speaking. Like, if at any point in time they were able to talk... Well, no, at any point we heard them talk, even though we would have known they were speaking in some form of animal speech, it would have taken away from me.
They would have stopped being animals and they would have been special like the kids.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, now we're going to go on to the story. We've talked, the quick synopsis. We've hit some big points up and down, whatever. And overall, I do have to admit, I can see why this film got all the awards it got.
He got all the awards.
All the awards across the board, every award. It won
Roger
an
made
MTV
one
award,
out of popsicle sticks and cotton balls and mailed it to
and
him.
it won it. Totally won it.
Won.
Won it. Won it.
Didn't even know the movie existed.
This is-
Got the
Got an
award.
award.
Totally won it.
But no,
So what'd you give it for a story? Since you went last the last 2 times.
that's true.
I like the story. I thought it was taught pretty well. I gave it a 1 star. It's pretty good. I enjoy everything pretty much about it. I kind of knew where it was going most of the time and stuff like that. So, but I mean, it did.
Well, it is a fairy tale.
It did it pretty much. It
Yeah.
did it well. I like the way. I like the execution. So yeah.
I gave the story a 2. I like this. This is my jam. It was a little slice of life, a little comedy, a little drama.
It's got wolves in it. Dave loves wolves.
I do. I did.
Mononoke.
No. What he loves is the lack of logic in certain spots.
No.
No, the amount of...
No, I don't like the lack of logic at all.
You should watch Dave watch this movie. He'll
I'm
just
about to
react to
say,
something.
If you've ever
be like,
seen
"What the- what the-
Dave, if you've ever seen Dave react to anything in the movie, it's hilarious.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
He's like, what the?
Well, I
And we're like,
stop it. Just stop it.
No,
Just stop it.
no, it's hilarious. Hey, wait! I saved you to see it on the bus. You're the
There's
only.
no one else on the bus! Who did you save it from?
I thought it was hilarious.
Ninjas?
Dave screams at the TV and hopes that they can hear him.
Ooh, no, I know they won't. I just don't care.
No, literally, it's just you sitting on the bus because she's
And the bus driver.
And the bus driver. That's it. Hey, I saved you a seat way back here.
You see his
They're
reaction from Dave, like,
20
It's aggravating.
But see, yes, the lack of logic in certain areas, but that's more of a.
Well, I was also
That's-
going to say the other thing that really got me about this is the whole family thing. I love,
yes.
if you've ever watched me on Denzi Caster when we were doing Kamen Rider Drive, once the female police officer's brother showed up and they started having interactions, and I kept wanting the 2 main characters to form kind of a relationship because they had a good, strong friendship.
Yeah.
And it does, spoilers if you ain't seen Kamen Rider Drive, but they do kind of hint at the end that they're going to move forward as a couple.
Yeah.
And I like that.
The sister
Those,
and brother?
well, no,
Oh,
the main characters!
Ah,
dear God.
Anyhow,
You're
I
kind of
can't remember their
jump stories
names,
there.
but I love the interpersonal relationships and the way they show up in shows. That these are my soap operas, yo. God, Grandpa's got to watch his stories.
abusive grandpa needs his stories.
Well, I'll get done watching a show, and then I go out and I put the cut side down, and I don't water them or they'll drown the potatoes.
Yeah.
Once you watch this movie, you'll get that joke.
Yeah, pretty much. Story, I will also have to give the old 2 because I personally, though, to Roger's mention, you figured out the story as you went through. However, there were still moments even.
Unless you're a dope.
Yeah. However,
Alright,
there were
okay.
still.
I was pointing at me, dumbass.
Oh, okay.
I-
good.
Anyways, well, no, but even though there were,
Marna.
you figure out where the story is going because, well,
It's a fairy
it's a
tale.
fairy tale.
It's a fairy tale.
It's Well, in a sense, it is because
I
you're
mean, the only thing we were missing was a villain.
villain. Yeah, and the
I
thing
thought the
about
villain was the boar.
No.
That's what I took away from it.
the
but
villain, actually,
you-
no, the villain realistically
Was life?
was life itself in a sense,
Yeah.
and that's
Society.
and but overall, this
Fear.
movie.
We had
Fear.
nothing to fear but fear
Fear.
itself.
The villain is nosy neighbors
But no, you
in
have.
apartments.
But no, you have to. Think,
Nice.
but no, but you have to
This
think
is
about
ironic.
it as a something.
Oh.
Even at its high points and low points, I was still shocked at certain areas, though I knew exactly where the story was going.
It was how they got there sometimes
Yeah,
was a surprise.
Surprise. And
Like, hey, the kids are going to hide in the school and have a moment. And then how the moment unfolded
Folds
was...
is kind of something that
Pretty
I.
neat.
Well, I mean, I figured.
And that janitor probably couldn't find his keys on his own belt. Anybody in there? You see the hair on the top of the desk?
Nope.
Nope.
Let's not be
Lock
anybody. Keep them moving.
I was like, it's terrible, but it's just one of those things where I thought.
They paid me to mop floors, not find lost
Children.
children.
I know, right? If they won't find children found, they better give me a raise.
Terrible.
Give me a badge
But
called Kid
that's
Finder.
that's just how I feel
Taser.
the story went for me.
Taser. In case these little unruly bastards.
Eh,
So don't steal my mop!
dear God.
Abuse
All right,
of grandma.
I swear to God. Anyways,
Listen, he was like the third or fourth best character in the...
He
well,
was.
it's because he's the only person I know that was like, you better just go back to the city. Blah blah blah. This ain't the life for you.
You're
And
not
then
gonna make it here.
like 2 seconds later, he's like, potatoes.
You know why?
I'm gonna teach you how to farm.
You know why?
Fuck.
Because he had already loved before, and he just couldn't do it again.
His heart grew 3 sizes that day.
He had already been let down. The last guy that lived there, he had invited him over. They were drinking sake, and 2 months later, abandonment.
You know what? I'm gonna move away. Shut up, man!
Another one!
Dang it!
Dang
There's
it.
like chalk marks on the wall. 25.
The mountain has frightened another settler.
Damn.
Dang
Now,
it.
real quick, the enjoyment.
See, now Billy Bob Thornton should have voiced him.
Oh,
That would have been great.
That would've been
That would
hilarious.
have been awesome.
enjoyment was 2 for me. 2. I enjoyed it. The characters were kind of everything. As a whole, I enjoyed everything. Yeah. And that's all.
The S in Roger's middle name stands for simple. Keep it simple.
Yeah, no kidding.
Keep it-
I liked it.
keep it
What do you want?
stupid. I liked it. The characters, the music, the visuals, everything. I enjoyed it.
I licked the box. It tastes good.
I checked the market Alexa. Yes.
Oh, God.
Next.
You want me to go next?
Yes, please.
I'm going to technically give it a 1. Personally, I feel it's a 2, but I know, to be
This
fair...
is like your favorite movie ever, and you give it a 1?
No, Princess Mononoke so far is my favorite movie ever.
Oh.
But no, I'm giving it. I'm
If it had-
I'm
if it
trying
had
to
more
be a bit more.
Stars.
A reviewer.
Ah,
A reviewer.
True.
I don't think it's going to be a 2 for everyone. It's a 2 for me, and I'm giving it points it don't deserve because the story to me should have been a 3 if we could break our
Yeah, I
own
know,
rules.
right?
So that's why I'm giving it a 1. I think if you give it a shot, you're not going to hate it. You might not love it as much as we do, but you're not going to hate it.
Dave loves it,
I do.
No, I do.
I want to wed.
but only 1 star.
I want to wed Hana and raise her wolf children.
I actually have to agree with Dave. I mean, the 1 star for overall enjoyment. It's one of those things where, there's a lot to this movie I just enjoy and love about it. The whole slice of life, the whole making the choice, which way you want to go, because you can take that for anything. No, not just their lives of.
Well, I mean-
that's what I like about it. But at the same time, I can tell you this movie, at points, you may get not necessarily lost, but you may feel like, man,
There's some quiet points.
because there's a lot of cloud points, a lot of drag.
There's a lot of living.
Oh yeah.
Yes, because even with all the montages that they do, it still drags.
Well, could you imagine if this had been like a 7 1-hour miniseries or something?
It'd be slower.
Well,
I
yeah,
guess-
but I mean, there'd be
I-
other stories
No,
to tell.
There would be because if this was a series, I guarantee it'd be one of those little short series, probably 6-7 episodes at max,
Yeah.
1 hour long.
At the end of the movie, you don't know Ame. Other than
Actually,
he's
that's-
making a life choice,
Yeah.
and other than that, I don't know that kid.
Yeah,
Actually, it's true. You know more about Yuki because then again, she's the one that actually telling
Yeah,
the
she's
She's
story.
the one that actually
What-
emotes.
You probably know more about Grumpy Grandpa than you
It's-
do about the kid.
Because it's because they make the kid out to be this quiet. I don't know what I'm doing.
And
about.
Yuki's friend, what's Sosuke?
Soke or Sake or
Sohei.
Sohei. You know him better. Maybe not his name, but
yeah.
He's. It's because
because we learn
You
about
know his character.
we
better.
learned that some of his personality traits. We learned how he deals with adversity. We learned that he's going through a rough time. And, you know, all these things about him that we don't learn about Ame. Ame is realistically, again, not to harp on a point, he is becoming the nature. And this show, while it respects and admires it, does not show you it.
No, I mean they give you a brief moment.
treats it
where-
as an
well, no,
unknown.
they give
Yeah.
they give him a brief moment because we get to the point where he's still the young kid trying
Where
to
his
learn.
moment, where
he's still he's still
where he kind of awakens.
awakens, and he's just like, and that's where we kind of go, okay, we definitely know he's going nature, but
Yep.
but
Yo.
here's the thing.
That moment made my heart hurt.
My thing was they don't. But my thing was they don't need to harp on that. That was the good thing about it because it was.
But wouldn't you have liked to see an episode where, I mean, it's kind of like an Ame central episode where he's learning things with Sensei instead of that stupid little montage?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do agree with that. Because the thing about with Yuki is it's less montage for her because
We're watching.
she's actually having to truly learn to immerse herself as human.
Yeah. She
Well,
changes her. She changes everything to be.
Well, she's the narrator as well, so.
Well, no,
Eh.
the mom's the narrator more or less.
No.
No,
Yuki's telling the story.
telling the
Oh,
story.
yeah,
This,
yeah.
is this is the story of my mom
yeah,
and
yeah.
how she met my dad and blah, blah, blah.
Blah blah
Yeah.
and whatnot. And because we don't get the epilogue of what they do afterwards, except for we probably
Right,
know where
right.
Ame's at.
Well,
still
you know-
in the woods.
This kid's doing this, and the sister's off at school, kind of a boarding school, and mom's doing fine.
Fine.
The end.
The end. And
Credits.
that's really all you. To be honest, that's probably one of the best endings I've ever seen because you didn't need more than that, really.
Yeah.
You really didn't. I figured at one point if the only plot twist that would have pissed me off is if they had killed the mom off at any point in time. That
to
would've
be
been-
honest, I really thought she was going to die a few times, not because of any tragic
Yeah.
accident or something. I thought she was working herself to
The
death.
death.
Yeah.
Well, she
true.
got. Well, that's the sad part. She kind of had to.
Yeah.
There was almost no way for her not to.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
She lived that first year sleeping, 20 minutes at a time in between 2 hours?
Yeah.
It was crazy.
I was about to say, but overall, I think we've given it more of the middle score more than the high score on this one, realistically, and I think that's where it really would be.
Well, I think the bonus point would be, would you watch it again?
I agree with that.
No, would you show it to somebody else?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, no, this is a great film in general. Because when I first heard about Wolf Children, I heard that I was like, what the heck is this crap?
This is
And,
what
like-
happens when the Hank Cunningham come to town for a weekend.
Well, the thing about watching animated movies that are not Studio Ghibli, how often do you hear about other studios doing these great movies and
That's
whatnot?
true.
Because everything we get is because of Disney, the biggest tycoon for.
Well, I mean, there are
anime.
other movies we've seen, obviously.
Yes, but
I liken this
How-
to like
but-
My Neighbor
but-
Totoro, but this is a lot more serious.
so my thing is, a lot of your animated movies, most of them are going to be either Studio Ghibli or based off another actual anime series that's already been established,
Or based off a manga.
or manga or whatnot. Here, this is straight up just.
Well, do we
Boom.
know that this one's not based off of that?
This was animated first before it went manga and a bunch of
Oh,
other shows,
really?
Yes. Yeah, this was movie was animated first.
Nice.
Well,
So-
since we've covered about most of that,
Yes.
I've been talking to our producer.
Well, as he won't.
Nothing, anything, but he's playing around with graphics and stuff, and some may end up in this video. I don't know.
Yay.
I'm
Oh.
hoping they'll roughly go here.
Right in front of my face.
But-
I know all the stuff that people complain about.
Yeah. Your awesome T-shirts.
I know,
Why don't you
right?
tell them where you get your T-shirts?
Everywhere.
Oh, well, that
Well,
helps.
thank
May
you.
the 4th be with you.
We that's the day that we're doing this, by the way. Don't forget to check us out on Cafe Press. If you like one of our shirts, we would love to Send you one.
Or if you want to buy us one of our shirts, that'd be cool.
Buy you one.
Yeah.
So, the good news is all three of us take a double extra fat.
3X.
Anyways, but what? So you saying you're doing graphics?
Yeah, he's a little bit. So I was gonna say it was probably somewhere along here. You're gonna find our Facebook page that you could go to. We'd love to hear from you if there's something you want to inflict upon us. We have stomached Dragon Ball Z.
You've
We've
stomached.
danced through Princess Tutu.
Oh, I can pull
stomach.
out some anime from my collection that would probably worry you.
We want to
I
be able to put it
put
on
it on
YouTube.
Oh, yeah, I can put it on YouTube.
We've watched live action films. So we're willing to do anime adjacent from time to time. I mean, we're very much close to a half a year mark. We started this the first week of January.
Mhm.
We've been putting one out every week for you guys. Still haven't heard nothing. Now, if it's because, we're doing a good job, thanks.
Woo!
That's what we're going to assume, that we're succeeding.
And I'm glad people are actually taking time to view it, see it,
Yeah.
Mhm.
check us out and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
I just, to be honest, I do like to hear a few comments, just some ideas that you want to pop in the head.
What do you think of Chris? What do you think of Dave?
No,
What do you
not
think?
us.
No, I'm not worried about what they. To be honest,
We all know we suck.
Oh, okay.
It's more of if they want an idea of
Yeah.
if they had an anime that they go, hey, they can watch this on Crunchyroll, they can watch this on Hulu.
Yeah.
Let's see what they think of it.
I can
'cause
pull stuff out of my vault that you haven't seen for like 30 years.
That
So
would be
can I.
fine too. If there's something that you like
I've
and
got a
you're
really
like,
called a ringing bell you might like.
let's be realistic. Nobody's communicating. If you shoot us a message, it's going to get heard.
Oh yes.
like
Well, we'll
a
know.
yell down a subway tunnel.
I don't even know where that's going.
I love
Neither
when I
do
get an
I.
action like that.
I just, in my head, I heard the Ninja Turtles though.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's correct.
Well, I've joined the Member of the Foot now.
Really?
Yes.
Nice.
He's on Facebook. Master Shredder is.
Really?
He is.
Huh.
I answer the phones at the Terror Dome. I don't fight. I don't fit in the spandex.
Safe to say.
The
Not a robot.
only bad thing about it is,
This is when Chris gets a headache.
the only bad thing about it is,
What's that?
there's never pizza on the menu.
Really?
Ha!
Not even like the weird stuff that the turtles order, like whipped cream and like.
Why, are you a spy for the Turtles? For the foot!
Huh.
Oh god. Well, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Chris. That was Dave. This is Raj.